Hello, welcome. In today's video, I'm going to show us how to create a metrics table. Yes, a metrics table is a very awesome visual if you know how to use it very well. You can see this gives us straight analysis. Simple, you can see the symbols here showing us high profits, and you can see the triangles, which is yellowish in color, showing us somewhere in the middle. Every product that has profit, that is somewhere in the middle. We see the triangle, which is also yellowish color, and then we see the red one for the poor performing products in terms of profit generation. We can also see a simple card here. So this is our data set, the sales data set. If you've been following the Power BI series, you discover that we've used this data set severally. So let's load our data set. So let's open our table. You can see we have the different data columns: category, customer ID, customer name, date, order ID, product, profit, quantity, total sales, and unit price. Now let's see how the metrics table works. So let me drag a metrics table, and then we begin to work with it. So to do that, this is the metrics table. Just select it. Let me expand it. So first thing you need to know when you are working with the metrics table is the concept of rows and columns. If you look at here, we have the rows and we have the columns. For instance, I may want to see items in rows. So the item I want to see now is category. I can drag category to rows. And you're going to have the list of categories in rows. You can see clothing, electronics, furniture. So let me increase the font size so that we can see it clearly as I explain further. Select here. I may want to see the grid lines, both the horizontal and the vertical. Then I'll go to values. I'll make these values to be 16. You can go to column header, also make it 16. Then we go to the row header, and we also make it 16. Now we have bigger font size. Now these are the categories. If we come back here, you now see that by saying rows, that means we want the category to be listed as rows. So each line like this is a row. But we can drag the whole thing to the column, and then we have them arranged in columns. This is simple. So we can see all the categories in columns. Right? So that's the concept of row and column. We can do the same thing for any categorical data. For example, product. You can drag it to row. You can see the products are in the row. So many products. And we can as well bring it to the column, and then we'll see. So now product will not be convenient to be in the column because there are so many products, right? So the best thing for product is to be in row so that we can easily see it. So if we want to cross-tabulate, or want to have a matrix, then we may want to define the rows and the columns. We have the product in the row and respective categories in the column. So we drag the category again and drop in the column. So you can see. So this is our table. For instance, if I point here, that means we are talking about a category called electronics, and specifically we are looking at headphones. Any data item we place in the values here is going to be the values that will be populated within our table. For instance, total sales. Drag it. Now, for each figure we see here, it's describing a specific thing. A category known as furniture with bookshelf that's sold at 32,933.33. You can see for each item specifically, we can just decide and check. And I can also change this value to say I want to see the average of every product sales. So our data set is for 1 month. If we want to display the total sales or the average sales for a period of 1 month, then we select it here. There are other measures like the minimum sale for that month. You can see it. For each month, this is just telling us the minimum sale for each item in the entire month. So this is the minimum sale of bookshelf. And of course, it's a furniture. Jean is a clothing. This is the minimum sale. We can also change to the maximum sale easily, and then we have the maximum sale. Now, let's just make it profit. So let's drag profit and drop in the values. So we have profit. So this is the profit we made for the entire data set for each product sold. You can see. Now, let's drill down. If we say drill down, we are trying to see how we can further minimize what we see on the metrics table. That's what we do in the drilling down. So we can bring category to the drill down. We scroll down a little and we begin to select. You can see the categories. I can say I want to see sports. Select sports. Now this is a metric for sports. This is only sports, right? So everything we see here is about sports. The products are under sports. We can select other item too. Right, so you can see furniture. We have the furniture here and the profit we made for each one. It's also a very important tool, so we can take it up. Now, the next thing I want to show us is how we can style our visual. We have different ways of styling. For instance, the outlook, the general look of our visual, we can style it, right? And then another thing is we can have a conditional formatting to easily identify products that give us high profit compared to those that give us low profit. So there are a lot of figures here. If I look at it, I'll say, wow, this is 10,000 is high. I'll now look, 11,000 is high. So it's a lot of work comparing, especially when you have a huge data set. But I'm going to show us how we can use this metrics table to add some elements of visual to it that can easily highlight some interesting facts for us within our data set. To do that, we just go to Style, and specifically, we look for the cell elements. So we scroll down here, we go to cell elements. Notice something, we have a lot of cell elements. For instance, background color. If I switch on background color, you can see, observe something. Some elements have deeper color. The saturation is deeper. It shows us higher profit. And those that have lighter, the profit is on the lower part of the spectrum. Right? So that's what color does. And then we can see font. So you can see that the font color this time around, instead of the background color, is the font color. Those that we have high sales, they show. We can easily see them. Those that the profits are not much, we don't even see them. Right? So they are very faint. So that means once we select font color, we are saying that we want to see clearly products that give us high profit. You can see this is 10,000, this is jean, and then we have running shoe, which gave us 11,000, and it belongs to sport category. Very easy. Now let's check another thing again, data bars. So when we select data bars, this is what we see. We see a comparison of our sale to the maximum. What we have here is almost the maximum. So it might not, of course, be, but you can see we have these other sales which are also high. Yes, so if you look at this, it's high, our bar is almost full, but we can easily compare with other ones, like, okay, this 10.2, the bar is almost full as well, right? So, and then we can see, so on. See, this small bar is just 4,000, and we can clearly see the length of the bar hints at the figure we have there. Also, notice that the length of the bar is proportional to the length of the width, the column width, right? So when I extend this to be wider, it means the bar will be wider. Does not mean that it's significantly higher than shorter bars, right? But you just compare what we have and what we have left, so there is more room for improvement. This is like the highest profit, looks like there is no room for improvement. But you can see situations where we have high room for improvement, like this one, and of course this one. So very, very interesting. If you understand the concept of the traffic light, where we have the red, green, and yellow, yellow in the middle, red on the extreme side, and green on the other extreme. So if I turn this on, you see it. Now, can you see that everything we have in green, circular shape, are high profit? High profit. So we can see them relatively. You can see this is high, this is high, this is high. We can easily spot out the categories, right? So we have one under sport, we have one under furniture, and one under clothing. We can also easily look at the category, which is jean, and then we have running shoe, and then we have the sofa. So these are items that give us high profit. Then we have this red diamond shape, which symbolizes low profit. For instance, I can pick a random item. For instance, let me just say pen. Pen here is on the low side, so we just know by the symbol. How about chair? Chair is somewhere in the middle. Of course, 7,000 is somewhere in the middle, but cabinet is on the low side. So this is how we can analyze this. We can also extend our visual to make it more aesthetic. So we drag it. And of course, if you notice that we have a scroll bar here, so we can always scroll to go to the bottom to see more of the items. If we maximize our screen or export our visual, we'll be able to see everything in a single table. This will give us quick insight on our data set. We can further beautify it. You know, I love putting cards, so we can beautify it further by dragging cards and dropping so that we can see our maximum sale. For instance, so I'll select card, and then I'm going to place the maximum sale on this card. So I'll just see profit, rather, maximum profit. So I'll select profit, and this is profit. I'll change it to maximum. So I'll see maximum, right? I can format it, just change the color so that it looks also similar with the visual we're trying to display. So I will use a green color, and then we have this. And then how about the minimum sale? We also have a card, we drag it, so I'll just drop it here. So I'll select profit, and then instead of sum of profit, I'll go here and say is the minimum profit, right? So and this one, what color should we add? So if you say red, you guess right, so that's it. So we just check here and go and change this to a reddish color. So we have this. So the minimum profit for a day is 0.73, right? But the maximum profit is 1.38. We can see clearly. What we have here are actually aggregates, but this shows for a single day, right? So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.